government want to know about you? And when I say the government wants to know everything, they want to know everything. It's like almost like getting a house, right? So you go ahead and you get this house, and they give you a stack of papers. You be like, you want what? Huh? Same thing. The government wants to know about you, and they want to know about you in the beginning, so they're not wasting their time again when it's time for these contracts. So what is the government wants to know about you? This is where your resume comes in. So some of you guys, y'all seen me talk about leadership resume. They want to know, where do you fall as the officer within your business? Okay. And if you are the lead on your business, your title should be CEO, founder, owner, something like that within your resume about your business. Okay. What can you do? All right. Or what are you doing for the business? Again, your resume should be showing your leadership. Okay. And if it's not, if it just seems like that you're just doing like, oh yeah, I just do whatever. It's like, they're like, wait a minute. Well, who does the hiring and firing? Who does the strategy for the business? Again, they need to know, and they need to feel confident that you are the owner of the business and you have the capacity to pretty much be the solution for their problem. They also want to know what you own and what you owe. Okay. And so this part is what you own and what you owe. Because this is dealing with a lot of the small business, well, I know they're looking to change it, but right now it's 1.32 million for a lot of the certifications that you can't be worth over 1.32 million. I know the women-owned small business, theirs is a little smaller. And then also it talks about, again, what is your revenue? Like what type of revenue? And then also what you pay yourself. So this is really, really important. The less you pay yourself, the longer you can stay in the program. And if you ever watched or listened to David, he talks about that. Rio talks about it. Lola talks about it. You know, sometimes you have to diversify your money for, just diversify your money, but we won't go into that part. So this, like I said, includes your assets and your liabilities, personal assets and liabilities. And sometimes this changes, or this can change depending on your region that you live in. And if you're married. So the next one you see is partnerships. So right there you see partnerships. Are you married? And again, we're talking about the region and the state that you're in, that they may ask for more. They may even ask for your spouse's taxes. So be prepared for that. It's nothing new. If your spouse is paying tax, then you can go ahead and give that information. If your spouse isn't paying for tax, or not paying for taxes, they're not filing their taxes, that could be an issue for you if you're married and you have a small business. He or she needs to go ahead and file their taxes. Next is minority eligibility. They want to make sure that you are a minority. If you're stating, I'm a minority, I'm a woman of color, or I'm a woman, they want to look at your birth certificate. All right. And sometimes they ask to look at your birth certificate and your driver's license. A lot of times we don't know where our birth certificates are. Find your birth certificate. Sometimes they let you get by with your passport. So they usually ask for like 2 references stating that this is who you say that you are. Okay. Now, this is the flip side of your company. They're asking for the same thing, but now they're asking it about your company. And so what your company is who is your company? So if your company was a person, how would you describe that person, but as a person professionally doing business? And so this is where your capability statement comes in. So again, if you're doing, if you're childcare, and we're talking about capability statements, then you'll state like, my business has the capacity to take care of or look after children from 3 months all the way to you know, we'll say 7 years old, maybe it's older because you do summer camps and things like that. And it's also, what can you do? They want to know, can you solve their problem? That's the biggest thing. All of these are, can you solve their problem? Are you a good citizen? And can you solve my problem? Okay. And then after they say, okay, you can solve my problem, what assets as a company do you have? What liabilities do you have? Again, they want to see what's happening. And this is pretty much to show that you don't have over that $30 million, you know, whatever your business is, whatever that threshold is, they want to take a look at it to ensure that you're not over that threshold, that you are good for that particular program. They'll ask about your partnerships again, your business, what is your business structure? All of this stuff that I'm talking about, you need to have documentation for. They will ask for this documentation. You can't say, oh yeah, I just have it. You can say that all you want to, they will not approve you. They just won't do it. Also, minority eligibility. Again, we talked about the SBA guidelines. You need to know, again, what are my guidelines? Am I a small business according to the service or product that I offer? And are you responsible? So if you've been in business for the last 4 years and you've never submitted business taxes, do not apply for any government certifications, because if they find out that you haven't done any business taxes, I don't know. Some people get zealous and might get happy and, you know, tell your friends who's also an IRS. So you pretty much, you have to submit your taxes, because that's what's paying for these programs. Okay. That's where all this money is coming from. This money is coming from your business taxes. This money is coming from your personal taxes. This money is coming from your neighbor's taxes. And if you're not filing your taxes, they're not going to certify you and they will not give you a contract. All right, so I have a question. If you are just getting started as a business, are you eligible to get a certification? Donette, that is an excellent question. So for some of these, absolutely. For the DBE, if you have all the licensing that you're supposed to have for that business to run that business within that state, yes, you can. You don't have to have done any type of business. Now you would have to show some type of research, okay? That, you know, like for me, you know, again, when I talk about the my one client who's working with Microsoft, all of a sudden, you know, I can't say, oh yeah, I can do construction, blah, 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 and don't have the DOT numbers, don't have the licensing, don't have the right type of insurance. As long as you have all of that, and again, and you're showing them that you are researching this particular business, that you actually have what you need, then you can get that DBE certification. That helps with some of the other state certifications. I don't know if South Carolina still does it, but I know at least a couple of years ago, they would not give you their state certification. And I can't remember the acronym for it unless you have been in business for 2 years. To circumvent that, you get DBE certified and then you get grandfathered in. Now, Donette, I'm glad you asked that question, because right now on the table, they are looking to change that. They are looking to see in the rules and the guidelines that you've actually done some business before you get this certification. Believe it or not, this will take a lot of new businesses longer to obtain that wealth just for this avenue. You know, there's other avenues, but this is one of the fastest avenues, and you know, one of the fastest avenues that you can actually get a minority certification. Okay. Is there a recommendation length of business age? There is not. Again, you could have been in business for 10 years, as long as you didn't reach that threshold according to what you are doing. Again, in transportation, it was 750 employees. Okay. Again, that could be close to almost like I don't know, $1 billion company, but I'm sure they would look at your finances and cut you off. Okay. But again, like for me, for my major NICS codes, it's consistently making that $21.5 million, for 5 years, they divided by 2, and they're like, oh, okay, she's only made this amount. She can stay in the program. All right. Good questions, guys. Do you have to be working your business full-time to qualify? No, you do not. But the biggest thing is that you do not. There are quite a few people who have several businesses, and they work those different businesses. The trick is that you do have to have a conversation with a state representative. They want to know how much time that you're actually spending in that business. They pretty much want to know, if I give you the certification and a contract comes out, an RFP comes out, a request for proposal, that will you bid on it? Or are you going to be too busy and you're not going to bid on it? And so now I administratively have to keep up with your information. And so there's ways to have those conversations. And that's one of the things that I walk through with my clients, that we have these conversations. This is the conversation that you have with them so that they know that you're going to go ahead and you're going to bid on, viable contracts that's out there that falls under your business. All right, here's another question from Hannah. What is the typical cost to obtain and maintain a government certification? So within the government, it is free. Okay. Within the government is free everywhere except for the state of Washington. And so I'm talking about for the DBE, for the state of Washington, for the DBE, I believe it's $50 to go ahead and get registered. And then to renew every year, it's $25. Every other state, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, DC, you don't have to pay for that. Okay. Does Schedule C from your personal taxes sufficient as your business taxes? For the most part, it does. Okay. It really, really does. I have yet to see it haven't for any of my clients that we submit that. They say, okay, that's good. Now they may ask for a P&L. Okay. So if they ask for a P&L and you're an LLC, you're like, oh, I usually don't do that. They may still ask for a P&L. And then you have a conversation, we have a conversation, and then we have a conversation with the representative and say, okay, what do you looking for? What do you really need? And so then, there's always workarounds. But yeah, that Schedule C is usually